Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here at VectorVest. Got another cowboy hat today. Got my other cowboy, my brown. Well, doesn't look brown. But I went out to eat dinner with my cowboy hat on from yesterday. I got a lot of positive response for that, so I bought another one today. I'm not going to keep it on, though. I just want you to see my other cowboy hat. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Beautiful day here in North Carolina. It's going to be the calm before the storm. We've got some wicked weather coming in for all you people up north. We got some wicked weather coming in, and I have a wedding Saturday. So glad that it's going to be indoor as I do that. Trying to see how many people are here before the alert hits, see how many people we're going to get up in here. Loud and clear, the people that are currently in here. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for supporting our YouTube channel. We strive very hard to put out good information, whether you like it or don't like it. Good information on what's going on in the market. So we strive hard to do that. I need you guys to share this stuff, though. I share this as more and more people come up in the room so that we can try to get about 300 people in the room. And then we're going to move up for 400 and 500. Wedding, you can only get married once. Kevin, you do know that I am a DJ, right? So that's why I'm doing a wedding. I'm not getting married, but I am DJing a wedding on Saturday. Finally got a chance to catch you live. Tom, glad that you're here. I want to shout you out for all the people who don't always get to see me live. When you do get an opportunity, let me know. So thank you for being here, Tom, and supporting the channel. As I see more people get up in the room, outstanding. John says, if we don't get 300 people today, can we talk about politics? No. We're not talking about politics. We're so not doing that. All right. So I'm watching. We got 136 people in here. People are still making their way. Everybody move to the front to the people that are coming in so that we can give them some room to get in there. Francisco, thank you for being here as well. All right. With that, a lot of stuff going on in the market. Today is a wacky market day. A lot of it stems from what fears are still welling up about inflation. Inflation fears are what's moving the market today. All right. So I bet the weddings you DJ are amazing. Carol, you see my personality here when I do a live stream. Take that to the 100th level. And that's what I bring when I DJ a wedding. Just think about that. All right. Mike says, looks like a head and shoulders forming on the VVC, which is what? A bearish move on the market, right? All right. So about 163 people. All right. Now I'm going to get to the point where I need you guys to share. I need you guys to share this live stream. Joey's going to put up a link. Share this live stream. Let's get 300 people in here today. This is the last trading day of the week because the market's closed tomorrow for Good Friday and we're off, but Joey is working tomorrow. I asked Joey if he was off tomorrow. He said no. So Joey is working tomorrow, unfortunately, but the rest of us are off. So this is officially the last trading day of the week. Sonny says, Glenn, Glenn, the front pew is still empty. Invite the latecomers to come up. Come on, folks. The water is fine. Get all the way up to the front of the room and let's get this rolling. As we can start to see right here on the homepage in the VectorVest software, a lot of yellow in our color guard. And that's the big thing that I want you to take away from what's going on in the market right now. We've got an up day, we get a down day. And I think a lot of people are having their heads on the swivel and they're doing this. Folks, this is a time, by looking at the VectorVest system, there's a lot of yellow in the color guard. There's a lot of caution to be had right now. Why is that important? Because you're able right now to mitigate losses, and right now you're able to take some profits off the table. So let's talk about that. As I look at the market, and I'm going to move us into a market timing graph right now. This is intraday what's going on. We are on a wild roller coaster ride on the market today. You remember the show on TV, The Great Space Coaster? The Great Space Coaster. Oh, it's the Great Space Coaster. You remember that? You remember that? Type of one in the room if you remember that. That's an older show. What happened today? So we got something called a wicked wedge forming. We had this forming today. I'm going to actually connect that high. I can't. All right. There's the upper level of the wedge. Let's go and make that darker for you. And from this low, look at that. We have a wedge formation happening, or we did this morning. How could we have used this to our best behavior or to our best advantage? So consolidation pattern right here, right? And what we would have been looking for is a break out of this consolidation, of which it did about 11:30 this morning. We did. Not only that, it was backed up by our day trading timing signal, the DTI, and we got an up call from the most aggressive way of trading. Our day trading timing signal gave us what just happened? Oh, okay. Click on that. Gave us an up call at 12:02. So in that 11:30 or so time frame, we broke out of the wedge. We got an up call. We're still in the up call right now. I'm not going to talk a lot about that day trading timing signal because it is one of the perks that you get for taking out the Derby, which is a day trading timing room. Well, we have a jockey club called day trading timing. The day trading room we have called the Derby, which happens every morning from 9 a.m. until 10:30. All right. That signal issued an up call at 12:02. We're still in that up call even after we pulled back here and pulled back here. We're still in an up call. So if you are day trading the market right now, you should be on trading to the bullish side. All right. You should be trading to the bullish side. Now, with that being said, that's today. Let's go over the last 3 months. Where are we? Well, we were going up for a few days in a row. We had a little bit of a hammer formation. A hanging man formation, not pristine, but a hanging man. Let me move this over. Had a little bit of a hanging man formation. We also had a bearish engulfing with follow through. Today, we now have, well, it's not even a bullish harami because the price at the open was lower than yesterday's close. So this is not a 2 candlestick pattern going into Monday. But what I do see is an open body. I see a little wick at the top, but I see a bigger wick at the bottom, which stopped right at a level of resistance on the composite at $55.59. Beautifully stopped right there. Now, where does this put us? It puts us in a little bit of no man land. The 3 is still above the 8 on the end of day, so that's a positive sign. Now, taking that, this is why all of the yellow on the color guard is so important. This is not a time to panic. This is definitely a time to tighten stops. Don't be afraid to take half off the table on the stocks that you've made money on. And don't be afraid to take some of those stocks that are losing you money. Tighten the stops. If you were looking for a 10% stop to get out of the losing positions, move that up to a 7%. With that yellow, with all those yellow lights, this is a good time to mitigate losses a little quicker. Does that make sense to everybody in the room of what's going on in the market right now? Type a 1 in the room if it makes sense. Type a 2 if you're confused. All right. I don't want a poll on that. That's just a statement of understanding what I just explained and how to react to it. Don't want anybody, again, I don't want anybody to start panicking. It's not all about that. Straight or STR8, Jordan says 2. All right. So again, with today's activity, based upon a 3-month activity, we're sitting in a space where we could start moving back up on Monday, or we could start breaking down through a level of support. I don't have that information yet, SRT8. I don't have, am I saying that right? SRT, is that supposed to be like straight? Anyway, because I don't have any definitive answer as to which direction the market could go on Monday, this is why it's time to just be cautious. Does that make sense now, Jordan? I'm finding the time increments in the spreadsheet view really useful to see where the money is going. Oh, I'm not going to talk about the spreadsheet view because a lot of people in here are not subscribers to the VectorVest system, number one, and a lot of people in here are not subscribers to the Derby. So I'm not going to show that information in here, Mike, for that reason. So if the market doesn't go up on Monday, it's going to go down then. What if it just sits still on Monday? All right, so the market can go in any one of three directions, up, down, or sideways, right? So because I don't know that for sure, but looking that the 3 is still above the 8, that we did stop at a level of support, now I'm saying is just be careful, just be cautious in what you do in the market. Jordan, does that make sense now to you? All right, hopefully that does. Hopefully that does. I don't want to leave anybody behind. I want to make sure everybody is keeping up. All right, so when we look at what's going on in the market, knowing that what we are seeing here is being influenced by the Fed, being influenced by inflation and the fears of inflation, the market is pretty much just chilling and like saying, yeah, let the market come to you. That's why I'm not trying to outguess what the market's going to do on Monday. I want you guys to just be prepared either way. Don't be afraid to take some off the table on the winnings you have, and don't be afraid to mitigate losses and get out of stocks a little faster. All right, so that's a look at the market, both intraday with the wild ride that we're having today, knowing that intraday possibly going into the end of the day, unless the market falls off fast, we're still trading on the bullish side of the market from a day trade perspective. From a longer term perspective, prudent perspective, if I go put on another graph, put on the dew still hasn't given me an up call yet, has it? Or has it? Yep, the DEW did give me an up call from a market timing perspective on 331. Notice that the DPO is back below 0. And if we close below the 30-day weighted moving average, we would go back to a down situation. So even from a more prudent perspective, I'm still telling you to be careful. Thank you, Pecan. I just realized that once I drew it on. But look at the move, Pecan. We're still above the 30-day weighted moving average. If we were down below the 30-day weighted moving average and it closed below it, the DPO is negative. We would get a down call just that quickly. That brings something else to the table. That we still have what I call irrational exuberance as the market moves up with all of the negative data on the market. This backs that up. Does that not make sense, Pecan? That this backs that up? As quickly as we got, now that we've got an up call, we could very easily be getting a down call really quickly. That irrational exuberance that I keep talking about shows its face in a market timing graph, and this is a more prudent market timing graph as well. Just something for you to keep in mind, all right? There we go. All right, we got 200 people. I need you guys to share, baby. Share, baby, share. Hit that share button. Let's get more people out there, especially if you feel that the commentary that you're getting is worth your time to be here. And hit the like button if you think that as well. If you think that the commentary is worth your time being here, hit the like button. Now that we've got what's going on in the market, let's go see what news is moving the market. We'll go here and starts off with interesting story here. The latest Fed increase came down to the wire. So they were actually considering what I think that they shouldn't be considering, which is they were possibly considering pausing. Why would they do that? Because we know that the raising of the interest rates is a laggard indicator. And a lot of people are saying, wait, let's see what you've done. Is it really pulling inflation down? But they raised a quarter basis points. This is going to be interesting going into May. All right. So, going into April when the decision comes out what they do. Now, as I look at this, what else is weighing heavy on the market? Bank failures, high inflation, rising rates. Is the resilient jobs market about to crack? Is it about to crack? Well, we saw that the jobs coming out or the job openings fell. That's more in line with what the Fed is looking for before he decides to pause or even start to cut interest rates. So that could be a telling story going into later into the month as well. Remember, we've got about three more jobs reports on a weekly basis before the Fed's decision. Now, another story, UBS confident about Credit Suisse deal despite huge risk. So we all know what happened with several banks. Credit Suisse caught up in it. UBS is going to buy them. The UBS chairman voiced confidence Wednesday that the Swiss bank will succeed in a government-engineered takeover. A government-engineered takeover of the hobbled rival Credit Suisse, pledging the deal will reduce costs. So Credit Suisse don't want this. But that's kind of interesting. That's weighing on the market as well. How about this? Brace for an extended period of dollar weakness as the U.S. economy is set to slow and the Fed will end rate hikes. HSBC is saying that. Poll. Hi, Joey. Do you think the Fed will end rate hikes this month? Yes or no? All right. Do you think the Fed will end rate hikes this month? Now, I'm a fan. Joey's going to put the poll up. Don't answer in the room. All right. Don't answer in the room. Now, I'm a fan of continue on the path that we're on. All right. Because I would rather the Fed overshoot than undershoot. Because if they stop too early, inflation can start moving back up. But if they stop too late, that could crash the economy. So on many times I've stated that the Fed is walking a tightrope in the raising of the interest rates. John says Fed Governor Glenn was at that Fed meeting and he said, you can't stop. And then started singing the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Stop, and Powell didn't stop. Hold on, you get the laugh for that. Hold on. That's kind of funny. Or I could have said to the Fed, you can cut rates, and then what? Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. I could have said that too. All right, so Ron says end the Fed. There's a lot of people. I'm not going to get into politics. There's a lot of people who feel the same way in regards to when it comes down to the Fed. David says, so gold is going higher. Interesting. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I talked about a little bit about it in yesterday's stream too. I need the dollar. The story talks about the dollar getting weaker. I got to see the dollar getting weaker before I'm ready to jump on gold. But with that, I did preliminarily jump on a gold play, and I introduced it to many of you yesterday, called SGOL. I'm in that play right now. I dipped my toe in the water because I think that the dollar has potential for weakness. So I dipped my toe into the water, but I'm not backing up the truck, all right? I'm not backing up the truck. Mark says, I don't think it will matter if we lose the dollar as the global currency. We could see hyperinflation if we have to take back all of our currency floating around. Absolutely. But if we lose the dollar, so who was the person that talked to me yesterday about the difference between fiat currency and reserve currency? I made a misspeak yesterday. I talked about the dollar being the fiat currency. It's not the fiat currency, it's the reserve currency. Thank you, Roger, and thank you for helping me out on that. We are the reserve currency, but I'm watching more and more stories come across the boards talking about how between Russia and China and India and Saudi Arabia trying to ouster our power as the reserve currency. What does that mean? That means anywhere you go in the world, people are willing to take the greenback or the dollar. if this happens to go through, then the reserve currency may not be the American dollar going forward. It may be the yuan. And you're right, Mark, that if that's the case and people won't take the money, we're going to bring it back to our market, and it will be hyperinflation. And holy smokes, Katie bar the door, we're going to be into some trouble. So I am still trying to put together the story to put it as a YouTube video. I've got to put my claws into better understanding, but a lot of it comes down to if that happens, that the Fed Now program, which is the digital currency, which is going to start rolling out in June or July of this year, and I'm very, very nervous about that. Having the government in total control of currency, and then what they could do is what the Fed does. And then something could push the Fed out of the equation because they could regulate what the money situation is. So that whole central bank direct currency Fed Now thing is a pretty scary thing. You can go to Washington, D.C. and they will take your dollar bill. They do that every day. We ain't got to go there. Washington, D.C. is taking our dollar everywhere. May 3rd. Is May 3rd the next Fed rate date? It's not in April? Somebody back Rick up on that. Is it May 3rd? And if that's the case, we got a little bit of time. And I think that the jobs number will weigh very heavy in regards to what the Fed is going to do on the next rate hike. Big Brother is always watching. I think the CBDC goes way above and beyond Big Brother. The Fed coin is coming, guys. So Dan, I'm just talking about that right now, which is going to be the Fed Now, the digital currency. And that's due to kick off in June or July. And the more I read about it, the scarier that looks like. All right. So now this is one story. Another story says 3 big reasons why the dollar's dominance against other currencies won't be waning anytime soon. Now, I hadn't read either one of the stories. I'm just playing the headlines. So as much as there's going to be people out there telling you that the dollar is going to fall or the dollar's demise, there's going to be the other side of the fence that's going to say that the dollar is going to be strong. Now, how about me? I'm trying to be the optimistic one to say that I think that the dollar is strong and it will remain strong globally. That's my opinion. I think that it's strong and that it will remain strong globally, but it all depends on the push that the conglomerate of China and Russia and India and Saudi Arabia, man. Saudi Arabia is jumping on board with this, and they got more money than anybody. All right, they're jumping on board with this, so we'll see. The dollar is done. No way around it, says Dan. We'll see. All right. Again, I am trying to be the optimistic one, but I will always keep it realistic. As I see the signs, Dan, I will continue to report on that, and we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on it. And here's the Fed Now. The Fed Now service, talking about that, is a new instant payment service that the Federal Reserve banks are developing to enable financial institutions of every size and in every community across the U.S. to provide safe and efficient instant payment services in real time around the clock all throughout the year. So then I'm going to do something now. How real is the new Fed coin? Let's go see what that says. A new Fed coin digital currency could replace cash, hurt savers, and allow the government, and this is the scary part of it, folks, right here, the government to track payments. Crypto experts have warned. President Joe Biden announced the move towards a U.S. central bank digital currency, CBDC, on Wednesday, and it's in a historic executive order, and that's scary. It didn't have to go to Congress. It was in a historic executive order on cryptocurrency regulation. All right, Roger says the dollar is dead. Long live Herm. Look at UUP. I got that in a second, Michael. That's a stock that I'm going to be looking at. I think, again, Paul, it goes beyond just Big Brother. I think that this is bigger than Big Brother. And this is another story. What is that? Brazil, Russia, India, China nations are starting their own currency and getting off the US dollar. That's another story in and of itself. So I'm going to write that down because that's another CBDC and BRIC. I need to do some stories on our YouTube channel about those. Dan, if China is buying gold, what do you recommend to buy? So that's between Lou and Dan talking now. All right, so warning, the Fed coin is coming and it may replace cash. Again, everywhere you look, there's stories behind the Fed coin, the CBDC, the whole 9 yards. So it's not something, dismiss, it's not something that I'm just talking off the top of my head about. Everywhere you look, you can see information upon this. Now, I don't know how reliable the U.S. Sun is, all right? But in even more reputable, I'm going to say more reputable, periodicals, the talk is, the buzz is big. The buzz is big. World War III is about to start. Let's buy more UVixy. Listen, that's another whole story for it, in and of itself. I am a United States Marine, and I can see signs that there's trouble brewing. How about that? That's all. And this is not about doom and gloom. It's about reality, right? A lot of banks around me at becoming cashless banks. See, I haven't seen that yet, Michael. I haven't seen that yet. So I can't talk on that. I can't. Sonny says, first Fed coin, then microchip everyone. Oof. You guys are getting into this deep stuff, deeper than just stocks. Sigh. Holy smokes. We ain't going down the rabbit hole today. All right. I'm just talking. All right. Let's take it at face value. You guys are going all down the rabbit hole. Get out of the hole. Get back up. Come on. Get back up. Sigh. Are you still bullish on lithium? Mark, yes. Am I in it now? No. It's not the right time to play it. Am I still bullish on it? Yes. Still bullish because we're still looking at the demand on EVs. So yes, I'm still bullish on it, but I've got a time to play. Does that make sense, Mark? I'm still bullish on it though. All right, now let's talk about some individual stocks. Someone asked me, Harry, are you here? Harry sent me an email and said, hey, can you look at what's going on with SMCI? All right, well, he said it was looking so good that it went down. Well, this was as of today. Wedbush downgrades supermicro computer to underperform. All right, so I do listen to a lot of the emails that you guys send me. I do look at a lot of the comments in our YouTube channel. So I do listen, and I wanted to answer that question. Even if he's not looking at it now, Harry, when you do look at this on the replay, I did address it, and it looks like that was a big mover. And that's as of today. That was a big mover of SMCI to move down. All right. Here's another one. How do things look for Senseonics? Someone asked me to look at Senseonics. They looked at my old Senseonics videos that were out there, and they wanted me to do a little bit more digging on, do a little bit more new stuff on Senseonics. A look at the daily price movement shows me the last blah, 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 blah. Actually, we're going to analyze it. Jersey Guy says, sell all region U.S. banks. They cannot operate at profits. Sell, as 4% of money market rates are not sustainable with small banks. So interesting in regards to that. If you follow me on Twitter, I did tweet a story that said that the banking thing is not over yet. That there's 186 banks that are in the same situation as SVB. They just haven't declared the losses yet. SVB did, and they got smoked. But 186 other regional or small banks may be in the same situation. Folks, I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. All right. I'm looking to ride lithium from 19 up to 27 or 15. Again, I'm not looking at it today, Mark. I just, on paper, I still think that it's a good play. All right. What else? Castor Maritime. Man, there was a time when we got a lot of views on the CTRM stock. And interesting, this story says, we think Castor Maritime might have the DNA of a multi-bagger. Now, one of the things that caught my attention way back when about CTRM was that it was a very low dollar stock that had RV above 1. That has always been something that has kept me attached to Castor Maritime. A lot of Mark, don't start. Mark, don't start. I made some money on it and I lost some money on it. This is another one of these stocks that I would have in my hit list of stocks to time. All right. Senseonics would be another stock that I would have in my hit list to time. I work in the shipping industry and Castor is awesome. So Dan, I've done a few videos that got a lot of attention as videos on our YouTube channel. So I'm bringing him back to the forefront for you guys to keep your eyes on. Pfizer, this is good news. Pfizer posts an 82% efficacy from maternal RSV vaccine in full data release. So the other side, not COVID, but RSV, which is for a lot of, it affects a lot of the babies, which is a respiratory thing. Pfizer's on board, and I think that they got I don't think they got emergency approval. That was another drug, got emergency approval for something else. Oh, it was for COVID. But Pfizer, preliminary studies show that they're hot on it for a drug to help for RSV. All right, so that could be a really good news mover for it. Stock Time says container rates have dropped from 20 to 5 from Asia to the USA. It means they ain't making as much money, right? Stock Time, that's what it means, right? Those shipping companies ain't making as much money. Keep your eyes on that. And the last story, somebody asked me yesterday about, is it time to buy tech? Tech stocks are really expensive again. They might not be as safe as they look. And I'm going to use a stock in our list that I'm going to use for tech stocks. More than 65 countries peg their currencies on the US dollar, while 5 U.S. territories and 11 foreign nations use it as their official currency of exchange. Well, I didn't have those stats, and thank you, Ted. That's why I am saying from an optimistic point of view that we will still remain the reserve currency, even if these BRIC countries are trying to overtake us as the reserve currency. That's just my opinion. All right. But the stories are out there that, and I've got a couple of people in here telling me that the dollar is dead, and we'll see, we'll see. Stock Time says 2K is only port to port, does not include inland rail and local delivery to Chicago, for example. Okay. There is a Wyckoff Spring on SMCI textbook entry. It's ran the stop losses at the level. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Ramon says, long live the dollar. It's BRICS because South Africa is in there. So that wasn't Saudi, that was South Africa. So it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Is that right, Mark? That's what the BRICS stands for. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Why did I think that it was Saudi Arabia? South Africa. All right. Cool beans. All right, so those are the stories that are out there in regards to what's going on in the market, and then stories about individual stocks. Let's go peep them out. First off, let's go take a look at the indices. Back and forth between being mixed and being up, being all up. Right now, all up, but the Dow is the closest to being flat. The biggest mover today is the tech stocks, the QQQQs. I'm actually still playing the SQQQQ right now. Remember, I got a hedge on all of my stocks. Mark says, that's what I've heard. Thank you, Mark. All right. So I still do have a contra in play. I still, even on a day like today, I still have a contra in play because as I go back to the 3-month view end of day, I'm watching the market fall a little bit. So I am hedging my long positions with SQQQ, and I am holding a gold play right now with SGOL. Now, talking about that, let's go to the big news stocks, right? And all of the stories that are out there, there it is. There's my gold play, SGOL, down a little bit today. There's the dollar, down a little bit today. Now, this is weird. Normally, when the dollar is down, gold is up, and just the opposite. But right now, they are moving in tandem. All right, now let's look at the tech stocks. FMGU up today, big mover in my list of the big news stocks, up 2.7%. Credit Suisse and UBS is in here because of the story. Credit Suisse is up 1%. Notice that all of the stocks that I'm talking about today, as far as stories, for the majority of them, they're all in down, and so is SMCI. Harry, you're not here. Hopefully, again, you'll see this later. But a big move to the downside, and a lot of it was because of the Wedbush downgrade. All right. I still think fundamentally the stock is good. It's in an uptrend, the whole 9 yards. It's a buy, but it's amazing how someone can upgrade you or downgrade you and affect your stock in such an adverse way. Pfizer, I think that the RSV story could be a good mover for it. CTRM down today. But this is big for me. A 77-cent stock with an RV at 1.2. That has always held my attention when I did my stories on CTRM. Dan says, low unemployment rates are obfuscating a larger issue in the labor market. The recent strength in employment data has almost entirely been driven by unskilled jobs. If you think about it, a lot of the people who are looking for employees are in the service industry, right? For the most part. So that backs up Dan's statement. But there's a lot of skilled jobs that are out there that are having a hard time keeping people because they are not keeping up the wages to keep up with inflation. That weighs heavy on the skilled labor jobs, Dan. I think that weighs heavy on that. All right. And there's my Senseonic at the bottom of the list. Drug company, all I got to say is just keep your eyes on it. All right. You still in Apple, Glenn? Dan, nope, not right now. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. I never count my money when I'm sitting at the table. Apple is, I'm just going to throw this in here real quick. AAPL. Apple. Am I ready to jump on board with Apple right now? You know, it's the top 3 if I put it in that way. Let's go view the stock graph. Am I ready to play Apple? Put this on a 3-month graph. I'm not trading it. And you know something? I haven't been keeping up with it. Could I have been making money on Apple? Absolutely. That's my own fault. I got so much stuff going on. And you know something? Just goes to show that it's probably in my hit list that I haven't been paying as much attention as I should have to my hit list because Apple's on the move. Bottom left, top right. Am I in it? No. But would I be in it right now? If I were already in it, I'd leave it alone. I'm not currently in it. When I tell you to get into it, not while the market has got as much yellow as it does in the market. AMC is moving on news of a reverse split. I talked about that yesterday in live stream. Let's go. They're raising capital. That's what it comes down to them. Another 23%. Another 23%. View the stock graph. As a meme stock, would I tell you to get into it? All I can tell you is, man, the news looks good. The day looks good. But is it really something you want to get into? This is more of a trade. Does that make sense, Anwar? That's more of a trade. What am I looking for before I decide to jump on board with this stock? Let it get out of its own way. This is a little bit of a swing high right here. I would need for AMC to get above that level. If I'm day trading it, though, do I have an opportunity to make some money? The answer to your question is yes. The answer to your money is yes. I'll throw on one more stock. Wire. I will look at Wire. Wire is a stock. I don't know if it's in my, look at that. It's number 3 out of 12. Undervalued, fundamentally sound. You know what's hurting it right now is RT. The stock is not in an uptrend, Sharu. The stock is not in an uptrend. Let me right click, view the stock graph. Fundamentally, the stock is good. Just like Apple. I think fundamentally the stock is good. There you go. There's Wire. All right, fundamentally the stock is good, but it's in a downtrend. All right, it's in a downtrend, and I'm not. It fell suddenly, and there was no news. Let's go check earnings. Nope, earnings. I don't know what the news is on it. I'd have to do some looking. Yeah, and Wire has been a great stock, but right now, I don't know what the news is. I probably have to do some research to find out what happened. All right, but I'm not a fan of it right now. But fundamentally, it is sound. All right. So I did a couple of things here. We looked at the big news stocks, and then I looked at some of your stocks. I killed 2 birds with one stone. So we did look at a few of your stocks, not all of them. I know, Kobe. I know I'm going to start looking to see more stocks come in, but we'll see if I've got time. How much time is it? 2:40. One other thing I'm going to look at is picks that I've got for you. All right, these are picks that I have for you. I got a search that looks for, let's go to unit search. I've got a search that I use to find my picks for you. One, the stock has got to be undervalued. The relative value has to be above 1. The relative safety has to be above 1. And the stock's growth rate has got to be greater than or equal to 10%. That's how I find stocks for you. All right, notice that all 5 of the stocks, RTs, 3 out of the 5 have RTs above 1, but all 5 of these stocks are fundamentally sound. None of these stocks are sells. All right. So if I'm going to graph them all, I showed you the search that I used to find stocks for you. Let me graph them all and go see if it's worth it. CPRX is a drug company. I've made some really good money on CPRX. Let's go see if it's worth it right now. Don't kill birds, Glenn. They're disappearing. Sorry, stock time. Ooh, I do like the move on that. Look at that. Steadily moving higher above the stop. Let's go put on my graph. Let's go put on the trade, which is looking at the 3 and the 8. I like this. I like this stock. I cannot lie. I like this stock, and I cannot lie. Got to look like an alibi. As it runs in the sky and moves high and high, that's all I really want. I get more. Okay, never mind. All right. That was awesome. Hold on. I got to give myself crickets for that. I'm going to give myself crickets for that. I do like the move on it. It broke through one level of resistance sitting at 1689. I've got 2 more levels of resistance to get through, and then I've got a price target on a 3-month graph of about $22. But I do like the move. I'd like to see more volume, and RT is right at 1. I like that stock, folks. I like that move. Remember, this is one of my picks for you. All right, try to do as good a job as I can to give you some stocks to take a look at. FISV moving up from a level of support. I need it currently to get out of its own way right now. I got a little bit of a channel going on. Nice level of a swing high. I need the stock to get above 114.31. Interesting, as of yesterday, Wire is rated number 1 buy by Zacks. Ooh. Well, Roger, I just showed you it wouldn't be a number 1 buy rated stock for me. As a matter of fact, let's do this. What would be my number 1 buy rated stock in the system by value, safety, and timing? It would be FCNCA, First Citizens Bank. All right. Undervalued, fundamentally sound with a VST and it's a buy recommendation. SMCI, the stock that got hit because of the downgrade, is my number 2 stock in the database, followed by Cold and then so on. All right. So notice that as I look at that, Wire is nowhere to be found in the top 20 or so that you see right here. All right. It's kind of interesting. Just goes to show, again, we try very hard to be your more trusted source. All right, let's keep going down the list. What else I got? Wow, VRTX, another drug biomedical. Love looking at 3-8 crossovers. I got to search for that. Finds the stocks where the 3-8 cross and RT is above 1. Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Now right at a 3-month high, at a 6-month high, at a 1-year high. The stock could be headed into uncharted territory right now. Could be headed into uncharted territory. What other stock on the list I've got for you is AZO, AutoZone. That's why I don't follow Zach's advice, says Roger. I hear you. Tiger Birdie at 16. He's having a hard day today, Mike. He's having a hard day today. All right. Best company in the world is Novo Nordisk B. All right. Listen, I hear you. FISV is home of Giannis. Is it really, Rick? See, you guys are filling me in on a lot of good information. Next stock I got, Fox F. You know something? Nice update today. I'd be careful with this. This one is a little sideways bound. Big down day yesterday. A little bit of a rebound. It's creating what we would call a bullish harami. Could have some more upside, but I need it to get out of its own way. So there's 4 out of the 5 stocks that I do like for you. Watch list viewer, there's 4 out of the 5 stocks that I do like for you going into next week. Just keep your eyes on them. Keep in mind, they are all fundamentally sound. They are all undervalued. And so I try to put the odds in your favor when I pick stocks for you to keep your eyes on. Tom says, request, please, can you ask for earnings date to be added to the watch list viewer? It's on the portfolio viewer, but why not the watch list? I think it's by design, and it's not my call. I think it's by design. I don't know where you know something? Let's go do something. Let's go to the layout. And it may not be as hard as I would think. I think that we could just put it here. I don't know why we don't have it here. It's got to be a reason why we can't add it to the watch list. All right, there really must be a reason why. I will try to get you an answer, Tom. How about that? I will try to get you an answer, but I'm thinking that there's a real reason why we can't add it to the watch list, but I will try. All right. With that, thank you, Glenn. I'm off to make pimento. Ew, I don't like pimento cheese. Blah, 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 blah. Pimento cheese sandwiches and watch something other than stocks. Have a great Easter weekend. You too, my friend. Watch the Masters. That's what you do. Watch the Masters. All right. Watch the Masters. All right. I'm getting ready to be done. We covered a lot for the last trading day of the week. Joey, show me how many likes we got. How many likes do we have? We got 65, 66. Folks, if it was worth it, all right, if it was worth it, hit the like button. Let me know. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, we're still trying to grow the channel. We almost got 50,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get to that 50,000. So if you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted to when new videos like this come out. And even when this is done and it's a recording, you can still share it with people you know. Think you can add earnings date to the portfolio, Glenn? Why does everybody think I got that kind of weight? Tom says, you the man, pull a lot of weight. I ain't got that kind of weight. Now, it's not even on my belly anymore. I ain't got that kind of weight. I ain't got that kind of weight. Hey, folks, this is a good week to understand what's missing in the world. I'm not going to get, if you know me, you know where I stand in regards to this. Just understand that this is an awesome week for an awesome occasion. All right. And that's all that I will say about that. Happy Easter to everyone out there. Enjoy the time with family. All right. Grab somebody up that you haven't seen family-wise. Grab them up, give them a big hug, and tell them you love them. Because someone more powerful than all of us loves us more. All right. So just think about that. All right. Just think about that. And that's all I got to say about that. So happy Easter to everybody. I got to go. Amen to that, Marty. Amen to that. All right. Adios. Arrivederci. Ciao. Au revoir. Sayonara. Aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bon dia. Salam. Shalom. Namaste. Yasu. Until the next time, folks. See ya.